My name is Eleanor Whitmore, that I was born in December of 1899. If you're doing the math, yes, I am 127 years old. When people hear that, they don't react with celebration. They react with confusion, suspicion, sometimes pity. But what surprises them most is not that I'm still alive. It's that I'm not bitter. Because if you live this long, time doesn't just give you memories. It takes things. And what it took from me was not my youth. It was something far more invisible. I was born in a two-room wooden house lit by oil lamps. There were no light switches, no engines, no humming wires inside walls. Nights were honest back then. When darkness came, it truly came. You could step outside and feel swallowed by the sky. Stars were not decorations. They were companions. The loudest sound in our town was wind against tin roofs. Life was slow, predictable, and we thought it would stay that way.
Oh, thank
That was our
you.
first
This
mistake.
is wonderful.
I was 8 years old when I saw my first automobile. It came down the dirt road coughing smoke like a mechanical beast. Horses panicked. Men removed their hats and frowned. Women stepped back. I remember gripping my mother's skirt. That machine didn't just carry a driver. It carried the future. And from that day forward, the world never stopped accelerating. In 1918, the influenza came. I was 18, young enough to believe death belonged to old people. Then my sister stopped breathing in the room beside mine. No warning, no final speech, just fever and silence. That was when I learned something no one teaches you. Living long doesn't mean escaping loss. It means collecting it. The 1920s were loud. Music, dresses, dancing, rebellion. We believed suffering had ended. Then the Great Depression arrived and took our home. I watched my father, once proud and steady, stare at foreclosure papers with trembling hands. I thought we would never recover. We did. That was lesson number 2. Humans bend before they break. By the time the Second World War began, I was 40. Airplanes filled skies that once held only birds. Young men marched away. Some came back older. Some never came back at all. Time began moving unevenly then. Some years felt endless. Others disappeared in grief. When television entered our living room, we gathered around it like a fireplace. But something shifted. We stopped talking as much. Entertainment replaced conversation. I didn't know it yet, but that glowing screen would be the first of many things that slowly removed silence from the world. And silence, I would later learn, is where understanding lives. I was 70 years old. I had grown up staring at the moon during pitch-dark nights. Now I was watching a man step onto it. I didn't cry. I just whispered, "We will never feel small again." I was wrong. Humanity always finds a way to feel small again. And maybe that's necessary. My husband died when I was 78. We had survived wars, poverty, children aging. When he left this world, the house changed shape. Grief does that. It rearranges walls. I slept on only one side of the bed for years. Not because I needed space, but because some habits refuse to die. No one prepares you for that. There is something unnatural about attending your child's funeral. I felt anger, guilt, confusion. Why was I still here? It took me a decade to understand this. Longevity is not a reward. It is responsibility. If you remain, you carry the stories. When email arrived, I laughed. When video calls began, I stared in disbelief. The girl who once waited weeks for a letter was now seeing faces instantly. But something else disappeared. Waiting. Anticipation. Patience. Time began shrinking. And so did attention. When I turned 100, strangers celebrated me more than my own generation could. Because most of them were gone. That is the quiet cost of long life. You become a living archive. A museum of memories with fewer visitors each year. In 2020, when the world shut down, I was 120. Masks returned. Fear returned. Silence returned. But something was different. Connection survived. Screens carried love across isolation. Science moved faster than despair. I had seen history repeat itself. But this time, humanity adapted quicker. That gave me hope. People assume time steals strength. It does. They assume it steals beauty. It does. But what it slowly removed from me was urgency. I no longer rush. I no longer panic over things that will dissolve in 10 years. Time stripped away my obsession with being right, with being admired, with being ahead. It removed the illusion that control is possible. And what remained was clarity. Here is the part no one talks about. When you live this long, silence carries names. Voices exist only in your head. My mother humming. My father coughing before speaking. My husband's footsteps in the hallway. I am the last person alive who remembers certain days. When I go, entire moments will vanish. That used to terrify me. Now it humbles me. Memories are not meant to last forever. They are meant to shape you. Every generation believes the world is collapsing. Every generation believes change is happening too fast. My parents feared cars. We feared television. You fear artificial intelligence. But here is what 127 years taught me. The future is never the enemy. Refusal to adapt is. If tomorrow is my last sunrise, I will not measure my life by length. I will measure it by witness. I witnessed flight. I witnessed war and rebuilding. I witnessed humans walk on the moon. I witnessed the digital revolution. I witnessed humanity isolate and reconnect. But most importantly, I witnessed kindness survive every era. And that is why I am not afraid. Because after 127 years, the only thing that truly endures is not technology, not nations, not even memory. It is the human ability to rebuild and to love again. I was born in 1899. I have lived through 3 centuries. And if there is one thing I leave behind, it is this. Time does not destroy us. It reveals who we choose to become. And hope somehow always survives.